Lay, what up, baby? How are you? One of the things that we talked about why men ghost women is that we talked about men ghost women because there's a separation between what they look. Hey, baby. Hey, what's up, baby? How you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah. One of the things that we talked about, right, and why men ghost women is because there's a clear separation between what they imagine their superwoman to be and what reality is, right? So one of the reasons, so a man, they want a woman that has a great job, that looks fabulous. She's very extremely pretty. She has good energy. She's just a good communicator. She has good listening skills. They want that, but then when they're met with all of the complexities that comes with it, they run. Yeah. So they feel as if either they feel as if they don't have what it takes, or they may feel like they're undeserving of that caliber woman because it's the difference between a fictional character in their mind versus the reality of the presence of that person. So we talked about that. We also talked about another reason why men ghost women is because they were emotionally Amina, don't come in here with that. What's up, Wanda? Hey, Amina, don't come in here with that. Another reason we talked, and I'm ready to go into the subject matter. Evie, what's up, baby? I'm ready to go into the subject matter after this, right? Another reason is because they came in emotionally unavailable in the beginning. And we discovered that sometimes, most of the time, like 80% of the time, a man doesn't ghost a woman because of that woman. Let me give it to you again. 80% of the time, a man doesn't ghost a woman because of that woman. So it's nothing, it doesn't really have anything to do with you per se, but it has everything to do with him internally. Can we go a little bit deeper? I need y'all to share this out because I need y'all to share this out because I'm telling you, you can't get this on YouTube. I'm telling you the real. You're not gonna get this what I'm giving you on YouTube. I promise you. This ain't something you can read about. You know what I'm saying? So let's share this out. So you have women that have been ghosted time and time again. If you've been ghosted 8 out of 10 times, if you've been ghosted 8 out of 10 times, then it's you. That means that you have to either take a step back from the dating scene and evaluate the type of men that you're choosing. Yeah, because sometimes it's our choices, it's the discretion that we're using. Sometimes we only go for what's available. Yeah. We only go for what's available, not what we want or we think we deserve. Hardly ever will you find people going after what they think that they deserve. Yeah. They automatically count themselves out. Hey, Sin City, Trees, thank you, baby. People automatically count themselves out without going after, hey, baby, the things that they deserve. So we deserve, hey, Trees, we deserve somebody that's going to respect us. We deserve somebody that's going to love on us. We deserve somebody that's going to take care of us. We deserve somebody handsome. We deserve somebody pretty. We deserve all of that. But we don't go after that. Nah, we don't go in. We feel as if that person may be out of our league when that person is presented to us right in our face. We become like the proverbial ostrich, and then we go stick our head in the ground. Yeah. And I'm saying to you before I go into our subject matter, Viv, I'm only going to talk till 9 o'clock, Viv, so stop me. Stop me at 9 o'clock, Viv. So which leads me, so we talked about avoidance for the past 2 days, and I want to apologize for coming on so late. Yeah. Stop. I want to apologize for coming on so late. So the thing that now we're going to talk about how do you know if you're settling versus, hey Sandy, how do you know if you're settling versus if you are connecting? Yeah. How do you know if you're settling or if you're connecting? Because in this day and age, people, listen to where I'm going at. People are only dating potential instead of presence. Let me give it to you again. In this day and age, you're only dating the potential, but you're excluding the presence of that person. So what happens is that we look at a person and what happens is that we look at a person and we think that we can change that person. Yeah. So we thinking, oh, if I date this person, then they could potentially be this. But you're missing the absence of their presence. Yeah. So you thinking that this is how you know that you're selling. So you thinking because you're looking at this person and you're looking beyond that person, when their soul is reeking, I'm not for you. Yeah. But what we do is that we yell soul. Thank you, Gigi. We yell, we yell or we scream. We yell or we scream to override the voice that we already know that's whispering in our ear. You have to connect potential with presence. God is the only person. Oh, thank you, Gigi. Thank you. Thank you, baby. I'm accepting gifts, y'all. Listen. God is the only person that can truly change a person. Let me give you an illustration. It's story time. Y'all ready? It's story time. Put a heart in the chat if you're ready for story time. Put a heart in the chat if you're ready for story time. Thank you, Viv. What happens is, there was a couple at the church, right? Keep me till 9 o'clock, Viv. I'm gonna close this thing out, and then we'll continue tomorrow. There's this couple at the church, right? Val, there's this couple at the church. When she met him, right? She met him off the street, right, Scorpion? When she met him, he was a thug. He was off the street. He would come to the church. He had dreads. His pants were sagging, all of that, right? His pants were sagging and everything. When she met him, right? In her mind, you heard what one? You ain't heard this one, Treese, because you don't even go to my church. Listen, Treese, listen. So in her mind, no, I told, listen. So what happened was, she said, oh, okay. So what happened was, she saw the potential in him. But it really wasn't the potential that she imagined. So she's taking him to church. She's bringing him to Bible study. And now she's changing him. Instead of looking at his presence. But she's trying to change him, thinking in her mind that he is going to appreciate her for what she's done for him. Let me pause parenthetically because it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing for you to think that you can upgrade somebody with the thank you, Gigi. Thank you, baby. It's a dangerous thing for you to intentionally think that you can. Thank you, baby. For you to potentially think that you can change somebody for you. Because what happens is that when you go in with that mindset, thinking that you're going to change somebody for you, it's not going to be. It's not going to be a thorough, organic, pure connection. So let me tell you what happened. So now he comes to church, Deirdre. He's slowly changing. She bought him a suit, taking him to the men's class at Bible study. Exactly, Scorpio, taking him to the men's class at Bible study. She's investing in him. Now she paid for him to go to Bible college, sent him to Bible college over East Baltimore, and he's changing. Listen, she did all of that for him, and he left her. Yeah, he left her, Val. They broke up. She did all of that. Woo! She invested. And so now, after she did all of that, she was mad at him, and she wanted him to give her money back. Yeah, she went after him. Why? Because she was dating potential instead of connecting presence. Yeah. It's a dangerous thing. It's like you're trying to sit in. It's like you're trying to sit in a worn out chair, trying to make it your own. It's like you're sitting in a worn out chair trying to make it your own. You're trying to make it fit you when it was never yours from the beginning. You have to connect presence with potential. Where it has to be 98% presence. Where are they now? And 2% potential. Because why, Cook? Because you're still trying to get who you are together. You don't have the capacity to try to get you and somebody else together. That's why when a child reaches 18, they become an adult and they move on past you. Everybody, let's get to 30,000. Tap the screen, everybody. Tap my face. Let's go. That's why when a child gets 18, Val, they leave you because you can't handle both. That's why you see so many parents stressed out. That when the parents, because what happens is that they try to control the kids. And then the kids grow up and the kids check on them less. Yeah. That's the first reason. How do I know if I'm settling, Cook? Cook, how do I know if I'm settling? Number one, listen to me. You're settling when your motor and you're pushing on the gas based off of what you see them at, based off of what they can be in your mind. But that's not the reality of the situation. So many women and men date off of potential. I'm guilty of that. Oh, I'm guilty of that. I'm dating and I'm trying to show her what loyalty looks like. I'm loving on her. We going out, having fun. I'm giving her the regular Cook treatment. That's just who I am. And I'm thinking by me being vulnerable and I'm showing her how I really am. And I'm thinking in my mind like she can recognize what a real good man, she can see what she got. But if I'm telling you, if they've never had it, sometimes you can't be the first person to introduce it to them. Leave that for somebody else. Let me give it to you again. Let me say it for the choir back there, Crystal. If they've never had it, then sometimes you have to be willing to pass on it. Because you get to a certain age, hey, Queen, you get to a certain age, I'm telling you straight up, I'm 52. I'm 52. You got to come to the table with at least the basics of dating. You got to have some dating manners. You got to have at least the basic, yo. You got to come to the table with at least some kind of decorum. You got to have some kind of, you know, they say you have to have some bedside manners. No. I'm telling you, stop dating strictly off of potential and connect presence with potential. 98% presence. Where are they now? Period. Where they at now? What's going on with them? And then that will determine if you're settling. Why date for somebody? Mocha, what's up? Why date somebody? Thank you, baby. Why date somebody that you know, you're at least the basics? Exactly, Queen. Because we make exceptions. You said that once all of your children leave the house, that's what you said. You said that once you raised all of your children, that you weren't going to date anybody with little bitty children. You did your work, but because somebody comes along and they're handsome, or because somebody comes along and they're pretty, but they have a newborn, you raised your kids, you raised your 3 kids, and they're all adults. But now you want to go ahead and make excuses as to why you want to date somebody. Thank you, Queen. As to why you want to date somebody. Thank you, baby. With little kids, because you're making adjustments and you're settling, knowing daggone well that that's not what you. Shakespeare said, and I quote, Mocha, thank you, baby. Shakespeare said, "Into thine own self." Finish the sentence, y'all. Tan, finish the sentence. Shakespeare said what? Into thy own self. What did he say? Finish the sentence, y'all. Be true. Yeah. You have to stop negotiating your standards. So that's number 2. Number 1 is what? You know you're settling when? You know you're settling when you're focused more on the potential and what you think they can be or what you imagine them to be versus what they are. The second thing you know you're settling when you begin to start negotiating your standards. You put your standards on sale. You put your standards on clearance. So that what does that mean, Cook? That you begin to think that in your mind, you begin to think that, oh, maybe I'm asking too much. Yeah, Scorpion, yeah. Thank you, baby. You begin to negotiate. Maybe it's unrealistic. Okay, Viv, give me 5 more minutes. Maybe what I'm asking is too much. Yeah, maybe what I'm asking is too much. No, you're not asking too much. You may be thinking, somebody may have told you what you're asking is unrealistic. No. Who told you that? No. Your standards are your standards. I'm glad you said that. And I'm closing with this because I don't have a lot of time to deal with this. But let's go to a deeper dive with this. I was just talking to my mother about this, right? And I was just talking to my mother about this, and we were talking about this little relationship or whatever. But we was talking. Having standards gets lonely. Can we go a little bit deep before I get off, y'all? Can I just put a heart in the chat if y'all want me to go a little bit deeper? Having standards. I'm gonna picture this. Having standards gets lonely. You ready? Having standards. There's a thing called, it's the law of discipline versus the law of discipline versus the law of regret. Right? The law of discipline says that if I maintain who I am and I stay true to myself, then I'm happy because I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm joyful, and I can live to see another day. That's number one. But the law of regret says this. Yeah, law of regret is when you allow your loneliness or the mischievousness of yourself or the other side of yourself to peek its head. The law of regret says this. It says, I'm only going to do it this one time. I'm only going to let my standards down this one time. I'm lonely. I'm going to go ahead and call somebody else that I used to deal with, because we conjure up in our mind that I'm comfortable with that person. No, you ain't comfortable. I might have to deal with that. I'm going to teach you on that another time. But I'm saying, and it says this, the law of regret says this. It says 15 seconds of wrong thinking can give you a lifetime of regret. Let me give it to you again. 15 seconds of wrong thinking can give you a lifetime of regret. So you may feel lonely, but loneliness, but the Bible says that weeping may endure for a night. The Bible specifically says that weeping, what encompasses weeping? Weeping is an emotion where you're feeling down. So the result of you feeling down could be because you're lonely, because you don't feel wanted, because you don't have too many friends like you used to. It says a night. A is the functioning of it. A is the count of it. A means one. So weeping may endure for a night. Yeah. And this is not, listen to me, what I'm saying to you is not specific to dating. It's lonely at the top. Sometimes your anointing, listen to me, and I'm giving it to you. I'm ready to give it to you strong. Sometimes your anointing can be so strong that it becomes a repellent to 90% of the people that you come around. Let me give it to you again. Sometimes God puts something in you. He impregnates you with so much greatness that only a certain amount of people, a certain type of people can be around. He's called you. Yeah. He says, few are chosen. Many are called. Many of them are called. He says, look, but the one thing that you have to do, we talk about spinning the block. If we want to go Bible, we can go verse for verse. You want to go verse for verse? We can go verse for verse. He says, look, once a person puts their hand to the plow, it's no looking back. Let me give it to you again. He says, once you put your hand to the plow, a plow, you know what a plow is, right? It's no looking back. because looking back cost you more than the plow that you have to push. You want to go Bible? We can go Bible. What is looking back? Looking back creates a slave out of you. It does. Looking back creates a slave out of you. A slave to what was. And it strips you of what you can be and where you're trying to go. Slave. The one thing about the children of Israel, and I'm closing with this, I promise. The one thing about the children of Israel, Val, is that they were with Moses. They're with Moses, and Moses brings them to a place of loneliness because he brings them to a place where there's no food and they don't have any water, and they become miserable, and their predicament spoke louder to them than, oh, thank you, Queen, baby. Their predicament was speaking louder to them, but their predicament was only for a minute. They didn't know that, but their predicament was speaking louder to them than where they're going at. So because they had this slave mentality, they said to Moses, they said, why didn't you leave? Hey, Tina. He said, why didn't you leave us back there with Pharaoh? Because back there with Pharaoh, we had something to eat, we had something to drink, and we had somewhere to live. But you brought us out. They got mad with Moses. Why am I saying this to you? I'm saying this to you. Thank you, Queen. I'm saying this to you. If you keep going, it may look, if you keep going, it may look hard right now. It may be a little bit painful. It may not look like you, hey, Michelle, it may not look like you're going anywhere, but I promise you, it may not look like you're going somewhere, but I promise you. Yeah. Do you know that a Chinese bamboo tree requires you to water it every day, but it doesn't start growing until 5 years after you've watered it? Yeah. You don't see the results. You don't begin to see the results until after 5 years after you water it. I got to ask you as I close. Are you watering? What are you watering? Are you watering your complaints, or are you watering your future? Yeah. Are you watering your pain, or are you watering your prosperity? Thank you, Tina. Are you watering your pain, or are you watering your prosperity? Because eyes have not seen, nor ears heard what God is going. God does not show you where you're going at. He never shows you where you're going at. Never. Why, Cook? Because he knows that you'll mess it up. He knows that if he shows you where you're going, where you're going through, where you're going at, then you'll act right. You'll try to walk a perfect line. But he wants to teach you a couple of lessons, and he wants to build your faith up in him so that while you're going, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Why? Because he is the Lord my shepherd. He is the Lord my shepherd. I shall not want. I shall not. I shall not. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Why? Because thy rod and thy staff have comforted me. Yeah, that's what he said. He says, and I'm closing with this in Proverbs 3:4. He says, trust in the Lord and lean not where? To your own understanding. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he will do what? Direct your path. So be not dismayed. Have no fear. Because I promise you, where you're going at is better than where you've been. Let me say this to you. Hey, Marquita. Marquita, I didn't even see that short. Hey, Marquita. Yeah, where you're going at is better. I promise you. I promise you. I don't care who's in the White House. It's better. I don't care. I don't care who's in the White House. I don't care what's happening. It's better. I have my good friend on. Hey, baby. I have Tina on here. Tina said, look. Tina said, look. Oh, my baby. Hey, Tish. How are you? Tina said, look. I have Tina. Listen to me. I got Tina. Put a heart in the chat, Tina. And I'm closing with this, I promise. What's up? What's up, Tish?